One, two, three, four.
Welcome to Sunday Media.
We're reporting on the most interesting headlines.
It's the news you need and the entertainment you want every Sunday.
Hit that subscribe button and let's spend Sunday together.
All right, ready?
I'm ready.
Welcome to Sunday Media.
Welcome back.
Episode 7.
Yes.
Oh my gosh. How you feeling today?
Good. How are you?
Good. We need like a little more energy back.
Yes. We're jumping jacks.
Okay.
I know, we're cozy on the couch. It's okay.
I know. I gotta sit back.
Sit back,
good.
relax. It's Sunday.
On Sunday.
Yes.
Yeah.
I have our first headline for today.
Ooh. Yes.
Yes.
Let's get into it.
It's a good one. So, the future of wearable technology. Is it a meaningful impact or a passing trend? So, it talks about global demand for multimedia devices and smartphones, coupled with the accessibility of fitness-based trackers and apps, and healthcare wearables is increasing drastically. The tech market is expected to be at $118 billion by 2028.
Oh my God.
So I feel like we're only getting smarter and better about the wearable devices, like the watches. I know we've talked about this in the past, the Oura Ring. But there's really interesting new novel wearable devices for sports and fitness. So it talks about a lot of interesting just smartwatches or fitness trackers that are optimizing people's workouts, monitoring blood pressure. There's smart socks that apparently like stuff is woven into it, has Bluetooth, yoga pants that are embedded with technology to sense movement, correct posture, improve alignment. Yes. Have you heard about any of these?
No, but now that we've talked about like the Oura Ring and stuff on the past episode, everybody who has one, I'm asking their opinion on it. And I'm asking why they use it because we talked about the Apple Watches and stuff. I have not heard of the yoga pants technology.
Yes.
Or the socks.
And there's e-tattoos, which is like, it says apparently like a Band-Aid, but like it would be sort of embedded or put on you as a sensor tracker and could send information. I think maybe that'll be the future. It's similar to like a watch, but it's so interesting.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. Have you ever watched Black Mirror?
Yes.
Like all the episodes?
No,
or
I can't. I can't watch scary things.
No, I think that what I like about that show is that you can skip around because each one is just like a whole different story. So there's definitely ones that I've skipped, but like, the one where their eyes record everything.
Ooh, I didn't
and they
watch
can,
this one.
okay, so they can like, they live their life, but their eyes have some sort of technology then built in where they can like review information that of experiences that they've already had or like see things that they otherwise didn't like actually witness.
Interesting.
Maybe I'm remembering it incorrectly, but that kind of reminds me of this like wild technology. There was actually something recently. I'm trying to think what it was. Like maybe Daniel and I were talking about something that it's going to come back to me. I'll have to circle back, but like circle back on that.
We'll have to circle back.
I'm going to circle back on that one. But we were talking about something where we were just like, wow, that technology is so insane. But like, is it insane? Like we already have normalized it. So it takes like 2 seconds, I feel like, for us to think that something is normal, but like think about the technology that's behind that.
I want to know what it was.
I'm going to have to think about it.
Is it a wearable potentially?
No. It's going to come to me. It's going to come back to me. But we were having a whole conversation about something where we're just like, wow, it's insane, the technology on this.
Yeah. Or I've seen contacts. Like, I wear contacts. And how nice to have some sort of lens that, I don't know, it puts numbers up or you could see. It's like those old Nickelodeon or Disney Channel shows that seemed like the future. But
what? Wait, they really have that?
I don't know if it exists now or if it's, but people are trying to create it, like a wearable contact. Yeah. A wearable, like, tracking contact.
I always thought that the goggles would be really cool just because, like, you could be on your couch, but
Yes.
visually you are smelling and seeing and like getting all the senses of being like at the beach or just somewhere completely different. So that's cool to me. But then it makes me think like, then we're not actually appreciating our own reality. We're like always living somewhere else in technology.
Yes.
But then you could argue like this is a simulation too. I don't know.
But,
like,
no, that's a good point. I feel like as
what's actually real?
We need to put our feet on the ground more without like we need to be grounding more and going outside and getting sunlight, because otherwise we're just going to be inside on the carousel of progress. You know that?
The carousel of progress?
There's a ride at Disney World, and it like predicted not the future, but like VR headsets, but now it's real.
Well, they definitely have inside information on what's coming out or something, way before the rest of us.
Yeah.
That's crazy. I need to be better about wearing my Apple Watch because I do like the information, and I like when it rewards me, but I don't have any of the other stuff. And like, I do see a world where the goggles or like contacts or those types of things are part of our reality.
Yeah.
The tattoo thing I haven't heard of.
Yeah, that was
but it sounds like it's a way to like put it right on your skin. But it does the same thing. Like it's still reading biometrics or whatever else.
Well, I think that's also I think we've also talked about this, but not having a phone in the future, we won't have like a device. So how will we be tracked, or how will all this information come to us? We might be going too deep, but it just is interesting. That could be like part of the tattoo.
There was a video in college that we watched, and it was like what the future of technology looked like. And there was holograms of things. So like it's a day in the life of someone is the video in like 2050 or something. And they wake up and their whole wall is kind of like the iPhone, where it's like touch screen. It has your calendar. It's kind of like like an Alexa, where it's speaking to you, but it has all of the things that you have on your phone. So like your calendar pops up, like your reminders, somebody calls, and you can literally answer the phone on the wall because it's all like hologram. And then somebody could pop up on there and you're like actually speaking to them, but they're not physically there. Like that. I don't know.
I feel like we're in ancient times right now when you think of how we're living.
Yeah.
The future. I mean, I feel like it's like that with the VR headsets right now. And
I know, but have you done one of those? I haven't.
I've done one, but it wasn't like that exciting. It was for work, and it was like a walkthrough of the office or something. Not exciting.
Okay. Yeah, it's kind of like virtual tours, but it is on you. Like that is your whole perception because it's like fully covered instead of watching something on a screen. Like you feel separate of it.
It seems neat though.
I know. I'm kind of excited.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Very
okay.
good.
Well, I have another headline.
Okay.
Kind of related to this, but like, so it says wellness stacking is the lazy girl self-care hack. Think about all of the wellness habits that you'd love to do in a day. The ideal list can include meditating, stretching, hair oiling, dry brushing, and deep breathing, just to name a few. If you were to do them all back to back, it could easily line up to an entire evening. So what if you did them all at once? Have you read Atomic Habits?
Yes.
Okay. That talks about like habit stacking.
Yes.
So if you're going on a walk, you could be listening to a good podcast or like an educational podcast or something. And then like, while you're in the shower, you're doing things while you're doing other things.
Right.
So like you're driving, you could be listening to an audiobook.
Is it multitasking, or is it, I mean, I guess it could be either, or stacking it like a ritual, like ritualistic.
Well, they're specifically talking about the lazy girl self-care is like you're stacking everything.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean, it's a form of like multitasking.
Yeah.
Like you're doing one thing, but you're pairing it with another. So if you're on the treadmill, that's your time to watch TikTok or something, like TikTok videos.
Yeah.
But then like you would separate that when you're not on the treadmill, you're not just like scrolling aimlessly on social media.
Yes.
Or like if you have a favorite TV show or something, like you would watch that while you're on the treadmill type of thing. Or you're on a walk, so you listen to a podcast.
Yes.
So you're doing something and then you're doing 2 or 3 other things like on top of that at the same time. So like you can't physically be doing 5 different things at once, but you could be listening to something while you're actively doing something else while you're like,
it feels like a combination.
Yeah.
That works
and so
well.
and then so this girl named Bridget Mueller is doing, so she basically has like a wellness stacking series on TikTok. I love a series.
Yes.
Like, love a series. So instead of overwhelming herself with hours of self-care, she's giving herself 20 minutes every day as to do as many healthy habits at once. Each day she's adding one more.
Ooh.
So, she's basically like combining all of the things that she would want to do that would take an entire evening, and she's finding ways to like do them in blocks all together, only totaling to like 20 minutes. It says wellness stacking is similar to habit stacking, a term coined by author James Clear in his book Atomic Habits. Perfect. I didn't even read this, but I read the book. The idea is that it's easier to add new habits to old or already established routines than to start brand new ones.
Yeah.
So if you already walk every morning, you might start drinking water at the same time, and boom, now you're doing 2 things that are good for you at once.
Yeah.
That's an easy one. Like, not enough people drink enough water, but if you're always drinking water when you do something else. In the comments section on the girls' TikTok, it says that people have been suggesting new activities and treatments to stack on, like listening to a meditation track or wearing eye patches, breath work, and other wellness boosting habits that can be done while she lies on her mat.
Very good.
I know.
I love this.
Me too. Wait, I didn't even think about that either. The eye patches.
Under eye patches?
Uh-huh.
I did that this morning.
Yeah. Oh, you did?
Yes.
Oh, good. Yeah, but like, okay, so you're taking a walk, you're wearing your eye patches, and you're listening to a podcast.
Yeah.
Wait, that's 3 things right there.
I really like that combination. I feel like we're naturally doing a little bit of it, but you could even add like one more. Yeah,
we're probably already doing a lot of these things, but we're not actively thinking about what we're doing. Like, we're not being intentional about stacking them.
And then
like
you
that.
see the results because you've been stacking it and keeping it as a habit, and you are reaping the rewards.
Exactly. It just says grouping your wellness activities into one block of time can also make you more likely to stay consistent because it feels like less time consuming and overwhelming. And if Mueller were to lie on her PEMF mat,
that's what,
Is that the mat that we were talking about?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Should we? I just skimmed right over that. We should probably say that your brother got a mat.
Yes.
Okay. And that's what we're talking about. And that was the mat that you were referencing. But what is that mat?
It's apparently, I think the brand's Higher Dose, and you can lay on it and it heats up. There's crystals like embedded. And I mean, people have their opinions about crystals, but it's incredibly meditative apparently, and also restorative.
Does he use it?
He hasn't used it, but I've seen people have it on their chairs. And I was reading reviews recently, and apparently it's supposed to be.
He could just put it on his work chair. In his room. Like, if you're going to already sit there, just keep it on the chair or something.
It's apparently very heavy, though. Very heavy.
Oh.
Yeah. But I love those types of.
Just keep it laid out. That way you just lay down randomly when you, because it's already there. So lying on the mat first, and then wearing teeth whitening strips. And then she might be too tired to follow up with a dry brushing routine. To do things all at once, though, you'll find yourself ticking off your to-do list in as little as 20 minutes. I mean, it's such a good point. Like, if you got 5 things on your list and you're doing them like back to back, that's a lot of things.
Yes.
Habit stacking can also make it easier to start and stick with new ones because they're connected to stuff that you're already doing. You're building a routine that feels natural instead of forcing it.
I love it.
I do too.
It's a good reminder.
What's like one wellness thing that you can't live without?
I feel like I have a lot of like routine / ritual, and so do you.
Yeah.
But like when working out, after, I will always like journal. Or I'll meditate first and then I'll journal, is what I found after I work out. That's just the way that my brain works. It feels better, and like do breath work. And then I'll shower. I'll put on my LED face mask. Like I'll try to keep it as regimented as I can while listening to a podcast in the shower.
Yeah.
Like that's been my new stacking ritual. How about you?
Wait, do you bring your phone into the shower? Like, do you have something on the wall?
outside.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I used to always listen to like a show or a podcast or something while I was showering.
Mhm.
And then controversial.
A show.
Yeah.
Wow.
The Office, White Collar.
How are you watching that?
Just on like the Netflix app or something, like whatever. Yeah. And I would, I would just
steaming up.
No, I wouldn't watch it in the shower, but I would play it like outside the shower, like you're saying. But then I heard that that's a form of anxiety because when you rewatch shows that you love over and over, it's because it's
comforting.
It's because it's comforting. Like, you know what's going to happen. It's a feel good, comforting show.
Seinfeld is my like
love that one too.
comfort.
Yeah. So I would, and then you get to the end of the show and you're like, wait, I want to start it all over because I'm like, they are my life. They are my family.
Yes.
You just spend so many hours watching them. Same thing with Friends. Like, I can't watch the finale episode and then not start all over again.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, so then I was like, okay, well, I don't like that that's an anxiety thing.
I know.
So I was like, wait, if I can't even be alone with my thoughts in the shower.
Yes, I do notice
10
that.
to 20 minutes. Like, that's okay. So I listen to meditations now.
I like that.
Like, not audible meditations, but just like a subliminal. I'll just listen to a subliminal. So music's playing in the background, but I can't even technically really hear it.
Yeah.
It's just playing as I get in and out.
Yeah. I like the news. I like to be out within like 10 minutes, and it's usually that amount of time.
Yeah. Wow. Awesome.
So cool.
I love it. Well, we've got breaking news here pretty soon. So
yes, we do.
And somebody's trying to break in.
Someone's breaking in. Breaking news, someone's breaking in.
Breaking news, someone's breaking in.
Well, now I hope someone comes in.
Okay. Wow.
But this is a really good one.
Okay.
Here's why you should change your career at 30.
Oh, yes.
Yes. And I feel like it's fitting our age as well.
Mm-hmm.
So career changes are stressful, exciting, downright emotional at any age, but there's something about making them at the big 3-0 that can feel particularly conflicting. After all, society tells us that we're supposed to have it all figured out by our 30th birthday. So the idea that you could have gotten your career wrong is an unpleasant reality. On the other hand, the prospect of potentially exploring a new job that feeds your soul can be invigorating. You're fumbling through your 20s. However, at 30, you have 30 more years to figure out that career change and find your passion before retiring. It's a lot of time, I feel like.
Yeah. We also we kind of talked about this with the call with when John called in, answering the honest opinions, and like somebody was asking about restarting their career. Like, is it too late? Can I start on a new career path?
Yeah, and
I mean,
he mentioned like Martha Stewart, and whenever she popped
Martha
off.
Stewart, Oprah, like some of them became well known or like hit it big after like age 40.
Yeah. And I think it's always good to like reflect on your career and figure out what you want to do.
If you could do anything, like just any job, money was not a concern, like just whatever your job was, what's your dream like unrealistic job? Not even unrealistic, but just like it could literally be anything.
Yeah, do whatever you want.
Yeah.
Nothing's unrealistic.
We can do any job, but like just it could be so far-fetched.
Probably something with NASA.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Really?
For sure.
Okay, if you had an opportunity to go to the moon, would you go?
I mean, I have bad motion sickness. I would love to.
I don't think I would go.
My body could let me. I would totally go.
You would go.
But I like throw
You
up
don't
on
know
a
if you're
boat.
100% coming back. It's months long, at least weeks long, days long.
I don't know. I guess it depends.
I feel like there's people that have not come back. Do I have that incorrect?
Like
they've gone to the moon.
Yes. I mean, yeah, and like spaceships.
And they're just still out there. They're not back.
Yes, like a long time people have stayed out there too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's very risky for me.
Definitely. I mean, if I had right now, I would obviously have to talk to my family before I made that decision. But if I'm passionate about it,
You're not going to just hop on the rocket and just go.
They'll wave to me. How about you?
Oh, no. No, thank
but
you.
what would yours be?
Oh, my job. Ooh.
So you're not flying to space.
No, I just think that you and I would be touring.
Yes.
And we would be going to amazing, amazing trips. And like we would be bringing my husband, we would be bringing Jared. We would like be doing these awesome shows and trips. And like
we just me in from outer space.
Yeah. You would be up there. We would be doing the show. But just like, we like where you're able to travel and like go on other people's shows and like maybe we get like an acting gig on something really awesome, like just doing a little bit of everything and not even being like crazy famous, but just like having connections and going to cool events and being able to travel and not be on like somebody else's schedule. We would be agreeing to things that we want to do. And like there might be things that you do or things that I do, like it doesn't always line up and we wouldn't have to necessarily do it together, but like we would be able to do all of these things as a whole through this. I think that would be so cool.
That's a good one.
Yeah. And I'd probably just keep like my hobbies and stuff to the side. Like I would do everything else too. But, like as a career, we would be making money doing that. And like we wouldn't have to travel all the time, but there would just be enough cool events.
When you said travel,
am I manifesting this for us?
Yes, you are.
Okay.
Definitely. But I mean, travel and food and like Anthony Bourdain.
Yeah.
The best.
Just like the most amazing place in the world and go to these like insane restaurants.
Yeah. Meet people, learn.
Go to cool parties, go to cool events. Be on other people's podcasts or like American Horror Story.
Ooh.
Just be on an episode of that. I don't know. That seemed very random, but I'm just watching. I'm watching Delicate right now. The one with Kim Kardashian and Emma Roberts.
How is it?
It's pretty good. I can't. Yeah, there's a couple seasons where I'm just like, I don't know, like the clown one. It was kind of iffy for me.
I don't watch any.
I like this episode, this season. I'm really behind on that, but I'm just like finally in some spare time. Like I've watched it by myself. I think it would be that just to have like so much freedom and then a couple trips a year and a couple cool events a year. And I would be good.
Yeah. I like that.
Amazing breaking news.
I forgot that was breaking news.
That was breaking.
No one broke in.
Okay. Well, we have Casey calling in. So, I mean, she should be ringing in any second because we've got a really good, honest opinion that somebody needs some advice on. Mm-hmm. So we will be right back.
Now I hear it.
Oh, okay. Hello, Casey. Are you there?
I'm here.
Hey, Casey. Thanks for calling in. We have a really good, honest opinion. Somebody wrote in, and we've got a question/dilemma that we need your help answering. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Okay. It says, "Dear Honest Opinions, I'm at my wit's end trying to juggle my demanding job and personal life. My work hours are long, and it's taking a toll on my health and my relationships. I'm constantly exhausted and feeling burnt out. I'm considering asking for a reduction in work hours or even looking for a new job, but I'm worried about my financial implications. What should I prioritize to find a better work-life balance and regain control of my life? Signed, desperately seeking balance." Yeah. Okay. Casey, any thoughts?
Yeah, I'm actually really excited to get the opportunity to offer my opinion on this specific question because I feel like there's been times in my life where I could definitely relate to this person.
Mm-hmm.
My initial reaction is you always have to prioritize your mental health over everything else. You know, life is too short to be miserable.
Mm-hmm.
As I kind of mentioned before, in my 20s, I had a job that left me feeling very similar to this person, you know, overwhelmed, kind of burnt out. And I ended up completely doing a career change. Haven't looked back. really glad that I made the change, and have been so much happier since. But I do kind of understand their financial dilemma. I
Mhm.
was lucky enough to live in a dual income household, so I kind of had the freedom to explore different careers and try different things till I found something that worked. Um, and I get that not everybody has that opportunity. So if financial implications are what is holding our person back here, I wonder if they could use their experience to find a job that's similar to the one they have, with similar pay, just maybe with a different company or with a different department, but still kind of maintaining that same financial level.
Mhm.
Sometimes your boss or work experience, sometimes your boss or work environment can make or break a job for you. So,
Yeah.
Maybe still doing the same thing. However, giving something else a go could maybe help our writer here have a different balance that works better for them.
That's a great point. I forget sometimes how much the leadership or a boss or manager
Yeah.
dictates happiness or just joy in the work environment or not. It's so true.
Yeah. Yeah, because like you could have the same job and like it so much depending on the people that you're working with versus like a different situation. I mean, it could be the same job essentially, but like the people can definitely make or break it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I know a little bit about this, but I don't think our listeners do, and I don't think Kylie does. So like, Casey, with your job change, can you tell us more
Yes.
about that?
Yeah. I'm so
Yes.
curious.
Yes.
Thank you for asking. I'm like, I don't want to be.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah. When we saw this, I was like, okay, I know exactly which one Casey needs to like help out with.
Yes, when I read
This
it, I was
listener,
like, this is perfect.
yeah, I was like, this listener, I mean, hopefully they're listening because they wrote in, but like, I did feel like you were the perfect person.
Yeah.
So yeah, tell everybody else.
Yes, I was an elementary school teacher.
Uh-huh.
I am no longer. I kind of got out right around COVID. As you can imagine, why just kind of nuts at that time. And I do pet care now. I own a pet care business, which is something that's totally different. Some of the same things, about caring for others and being responsible and reliable. But yeah, I mean, I feel like I could definitely relate to some, when I read this, I kind of wondered, is their boss or someone kind of taking advantage of this person's work ethic?
Mhm.
Because when I was teaching I was one of the only teachers that did not have my own children. And so I felt like a lot of responsibility got put on me. Like, oh, she can stay late because she doesn't have to go home to her kids. Or, she can take on this extra project because she doesn't have children at home. And,
Yeah. I feel like
it
that
could
happens
be
all the
something
time.
as simple as who's in charge of you, whereas if I had a boss that also didn't have children, they may not even cross their mind. So,
Mhm.
yeah, I feel like if you're super unhappy with the job as a whole, try to get out of it if you can. And it may take you several times to find what you actually do like. You won't know until you try, of course. But yeah, that initial reaction to me was kind of, if you're not happy in life, that's kind of what it's all about. So you got to prioritize that over everything else.
Yeah.
Yes. What a good reminder too. Like I forget about that. I remember one of my old bosses that I loved was like always, or at least try to look for a boss that has kids or a family because they won't micromanage you as much. And actually, I mean, it depends on the leader, but I have to say the ones with families I got along with better than the ones that didn't.
Yeah.
They just had their priorities and it was
Well,
really
maybe they don't have
interesting.
time to like micromanage
Right,
you because
yeah.
they've got other things. Like they're out at 5 o'clock or
Mhm.
6 o'clock But like what you were saying, Casey, I've heard that so many times before, like other friends that don't have kids and their bosses or like their coworkers that do have kids, where they think, yeah, there's like different privileges, and not that being home with your kids is necessarily like a vacation or anything, but it's like other things that are like, that was a personal choice that like that's your family life outside of work, or that's like your personal life outside of work. And that doesn't mean that the other person that doesn't have kids has free time to do more work, or like that they should be doing that just because they're not spending it with kids. But like, I don't have kids yet, and my team that works for me don't have kids yet. My boss has kids, but like we don't work directly together in an office or anything. So like it's different. Like I think we are more aligned with our priorities because we go home to our family life, and I try to promote like a work-life balance. I want everybody to be able to leave the work at the door as much as possible. But yeah, like if the people that you work for can make or break it. Any thoughts on just like you said, you had a dual income household, so you were able to not worry about the financial part, but like her big worry or his big worry is, I'm worried about the financial implications if they looked for a new job or a reduction in work hours. So like, any thoughts on just what they could do in the meantime of like totally switching careers if they decide not to stay with that job?
I mean, the most, obvious answer really is to make sure you have something lined up that's pretty solid before you make that switch. You don't want to have a gap in your employment, if you need bills to pay, that kind of thing. So just kind of making sure, maybe picking up stuff on the weekends if you want to take extra or less hours at your current job now, and then picking up something else to kind of get your foot in the door, dip your toes in, see if you like it. Maybe it's a process that you're going to have to go through kind of slow to figure out what works, and how much you need to work here, based there, to make sure those bills are paid, just to make sure that you like it and will be able to make that switch kind of smoothly as possible.
Yeah, a little unrelated, but I was listening to a podcast last night and it had Ryan Serhant on it, like the real estate mogul in New York, and he's got all the TV shows about real estate and everything. And I was telling you about other stuff about his interview because I just like I didn't realize he's so much cooler as a person than I thought. Like I've only seen some of the clips from TV, but like his schedule is like super cool. He's got a whole family. He seems like he did theater, like just he's like interested in doing social media and stuff because he like had those interests as a kid. But he was basically talking about how on his come up for his job in real estate, he had come from an acting background and he was trying to get acting roles and he was still like, auditioning and stuff. But when he really got into real estate and he started realizing that he needed like help of other people. So like, for example, going around New York and taking the subway, you don't get great service. And then when you would get out of the subway, then your phone would take a second to like catch up on all the emails or phone calls or whatever came through during that time. And he's like, so I was like losing time and like potentially missing out on clients or important things that I could have been responding to. So he got a driver. But like initially he just thought about like, how many houses do I need to sell extra per year to be able to afford this driver? And then like once he did that and he established it, then it was like, okay, I need 3 email assistants or like 1. And then it, compounded. So he has like a daytime, a nighttime email assistant. And then it was like, all these other things that have helped his career become more efficient. But it was like, how many extra houses do I need to sell every year in order to afford that? Because like his time was better spent doing something else. So it's just like, what other things can you do to support your bills, or like what other things can you work on to support your lifestyle in the meantime while you're finding your new passion? Yeah. It just kind of inspiring. I loved it.
I mean, sometimes it takes a while to get where you want to be. Life's kind of like climbing a ladder, and once it can definitely take a while to get to where you want to be.
Yeah. Oh, awesome.
I love it.
Me too. Well, thanks so much for calling in, Casey. That was hopefully like super helpful. Yeah.
I hope so. I mean, felt like some of it was kind of very specific. Like I don't know if this writer has children or not, but that
Mhm.
was just like an example of something that I experienced in, um, like being at a different school, or I may not have experienced that at all, so who knows, but yeah,
Yeah.
I hope it wasn't too specific.
No, I love
Yeah, well,
how, yeah,
they
that's
could
great.
write in and give us more information if there's anything else we need to know. But like, I think that's really
Good
great advice.
Yeah, great reminders too. So thank you.
Yeah, thanks, Casey.
You're
Okay, we'll talk to you
welcome.
soon. Bye.
All right, bye.
It's time for the mini mag moment. Are you ready?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. So it says, while we tend to wait until the new year to wipe the slate clean and envision what we want, fall is ripe with back to school vibes, even if you're not in school.
True.
Just as kids return to school after summer break, adults just from a vacation mindset to back to work mode. Granted, doesn't mean that we're not working in the summer, but still, it's a different mindset. In general, it's a time when there's a buzz of excitement that often comes with a new beginning. People tend to feel refreshed and ready for whatever comes next. And even if you may not be going back to school, you can still channel that same energy in September to dream up what you want. The first step to manifestation. Clearly define what you want, break it down into small actionable steps, and that could look like creating a vision board, practicing affirmations, or setting daily intentions. This is the time to reset. So, at the time that this episode is releasing, we are going to be like right in fall. Now, for Charlotte and Florida and California and all these other states, I mean, we don't see like winter for another couple months. It's just like the perfect time. Do you set any New Year's resolutions in January?
Yes, but I was thinking, yesterday or this week that how much better I'm going to feel because I've been much more consistent. And if I stay consistent, then I'll be starting out January on a high note. But I mean, there's always room for improvement. How about you?
I get really superstitious around January.
What?
No.
What?
I'm like pretty superstitious around January,
Why?
like the new year.
Not the Halloween, not like.
No. Sorry. To be clear, not around Halloween.
Okay.
Like January, New Year's.
What are you suspicious about?
I don't know. I always I get caught up, I think, in my mind of wanting everything on New Year's Eve to reflect the new year that I want to bring in. So like I want no negative energy, I want no bad habits. I want to start off New Year's Day with like a great workout and a great meal and like doing enjoyable things.
Definitely.
Or just resetting, like anything. I feel like it doesn't always end up being that either because it's just like a day off from work, and if you celebrated it all the night before, like that's not necessarily what you're doing on that next day.
Very
like
true.
Where are people going on New Year's Day?
Yeah, it is a very strange holiday.
Yeah.
Actually.
But I've also heard that people will talk about April or May as really their true reset time. Just because like that's when spring is coming. Like you're coming out of the winter. That almost makes even more sense, right? Like,
yeah. And maybe I love your point there because this spring was like my spring awakening.
Yeah.
Where I don't know, I feel like I saw the seasons changing, the flowers blooming, the trees, and I know I'm not going to get that in Florida anymore. But that transition versus the spring to summer.
Yeah.
And so this one into fall, I think will feel good because the fall to winter, it's already cold, so we don't feel the difference. Maybe this is my second, I'll do 2 resets a year, spring and fall. I like that.
And what about your wardrobe? Do you put certain clothes away for the winter and like bring it out, that kind of thing?
Yeah, and then I lose all I don't know where they went.
I know, I don't like that. I keep all of mine all year long in my closet because when I go to an office, like there's air conditioning in there and I'm sitting.
Oh, wow. You don't change out.
No, I keep long sleeves. I keep sweaters and stuff because I'll just wear them sometimes in the summer. Like not all the time, but not in the dead of summer. But if I'm indoors,
your boots?
No, like my shoes change. I won't wear boots in the summer. I will wear long sleeves in the dead of summer.
Yeah, that's true.
So like that'll change. But so it says another reason that the holiday is so applicable to manifestation is that it blends mysticism with something far more tangible, the bounty of the harvest.
Oh.
Yeah. So manifestation might seem like it's all about looking to the future, but a key part of the practice is often forgotten. And that's giving thanks for all the crops that you've reaped, AKA the positive things that you've already manifested. When you show gratitude for what you've already harvested in your life, however small, it creates space for more abundance and you notice more of the good things in your life. For example, if you want to manifest a relationship, express your appreciation to the love that you already feel, be it from your family, your friends, your pet. It says, according to Psychology Today, showing gratitude to loved ones improves connection and relationship satisfaction. If you're after financial success during this time, try writing down moments of gratitude that were associated with things that you were able to pay for. Think about savoring your first PSL of the season, pumpkin spice lattes, the endorphin rush from the Pilates class, or getting tickets to Sabrina Carpenter's Short and Sweet. Kind of random, but
Very, very
I get the energy.
specific.
I know. So by practicing gratitude, you'll attract more things into your life to be grateful for. So take a cue from harvest season and appreciate your bounty, aka your already amazing life.
Great point. Yeah, Thanksgiving. I feel like you forget about that until it turns Thanksgiving. You have to say what you're thankful for. But
Yeah.
it is a season of gratitude. Gratitude is always grateful.
Yeah, so whatever we're grateful for amplifies in our life, and that's why it really makes it a good time. I like the reset. I like a spring and I like a fall. Those are my New Year's. Those are my New Year's as of this moment.
And what about New Year's?
It's fiction. I don't believe in it anymore. Only the spring and the fall from here on out.
It's not going to change. No different goals. for
No,
you.
it's freezing cold.
Yeah.
It's like not the time that I mean, unless you've got amazing plans and you go somewhere else, which might have to be the thing. Like maybe I travel to a warmer place. I'll come visit you in Florida.
That's true. January, I think 2 years ago, we went to Florida and it felt so different just starting out sort of in a vacation mode. And in the warmth, I'm like, I should do this.
I do love a vacation over a holiday. How amazing is that?
I'm surprised. I like clean, like fresh slate January 1st. You are just superstitious.
I just get overly.
I can't get over it.
I know. I just want to make sure that everything is really good. I just want to make sure that everything is really good so it sets the tone for the new year. And that's important to me. And I don't like to overthink it, but I can't help but overthink that.
Yes.
That's my story. I'm going to stick to it.
I'm just the superstition of.
You were like, what?
I'm
a little stitious.
Tell me
As the great Michael
example.
Scott.
The listeners need an example of your superstition. Make it your one.
Like I would never want to be in a fight with somebody on New Year's Eve. I feel like that sets a bad tone for the next year.
So is it the 31st is the superstition day?
Well, yeah, like leading into the new year. Like on the first day, I want to get a great workout in. I want to have a good positive day of some sort. I do like going out and celebrating in some way because I feel like that sets a nice tone of like celebrating the new year. A great meal, love that. Spending it with somebody I love, like if I'm just with Daniel, even I'll be happy.
But you're not changing your goals. You're not that for me.
That was my question.
My main goal.
Wait, that was my question.
Goals? Yes. So are you superstitious about making goals?
No.
That's why I'm like, you are goal queen.
I totally forgot about my own question to you, which was to you. I know. Which is, do you set any New Year's resolutions? I don't. I have more so goals for the year and things that I want. And I like to look back on the year on my list of like bigger things. Whenever I can remember, I do keep a list in my phone, just in my notes app, of just like big things that have happened that year. I do like looking back and being like, wow, think about all these big things that I did.
Yeah.
So I like to reflect on that. I like to have new goals, but I think it's also just setting routines that are realistic.
Yep. Yeah.
Like, I don't want to start working out for the first time on January 1st. Like, I want that to be a routine that I'm keeping up with all year. And, you know.
But if you are, great. And then maybe by next fall, you'll feel like, because I know in the past for me, I've had to get back into like a good routine, and I would make it about like a year, like 2023. I'd be like, I want to run 23 miles and each month.
Oh, wow.
And my old boss was like, that's it. I'm like, that's more than enough.
I know somebody who just ran 7 miles the other day. Not a professional runner, but like sounding like one.
Yeah.
Yeah. I know.
Yeah. I like your reset of goals. That's why I just wanted to make sure, because you are that.
Yeah. I think a lot of my manifestations, though, I've realized are like, it's interesting because they're a little bit general. You're always trying to capture the feeling of the thing that you think you want. Okay. So like if it's money or a relationship or a great job or whatever, like what is it actually providing you feeling wise? And that's what you need to start to try to get on the same level as. So like if the money grants you freedom and time freedom, and you're able to like feel really secure because you have money to pay for things, you feel like you're not chasing your bills or something like that. You want to feel the feelings of security. So you're not necessarily chasing the money, you're chasing what it can, and chasing is not even a good word, but like that's what you're trying to manifest. So those are the things that you're actually trying to manifest, not specifically the money. Like you think it's the money, but it's really all these other things, or one thing in particular. So when I look at my vision boards, a lot of them are just like an aesthetic, which is hard to define if it's come to you sometimes. Like some of them are not so specific, like a house or a car or something. It's more of what I want my life to look like.
Yes.
And so I think I'm trying to be more intentional this year, because I've heard it time and time again, but I don't know that I've actually sat down and logically done this, where I want to think about what my ideal day to day is and what type of person who has that life is like. What do they do? How do they dress? What do they say? Like what routines do they have? I think I need to be more intentional about that. And I know this in practice. I just haven't sat down and done that in a while.
You're very good at it, for sure. But also with the vision board, that's what I was going to say, because you're big on vision boards too, and that's a very, I feel like, yearly.
Yes, I do.
Not superstitious.
I do that.
Yeah.
I usually do one leading up to the new year, and that's like my new reset of what I want that year to look like.
But I like it. Maybe we start a seasonal one, because I'm like, I have this one for the year, but sometimes things change, and it could be interesting to do.
I like doing seasonal ones or like quarterly ones. The thing is, sometimes some of the manifestations are just broader than what can happen in just a month or a quarter. Yeah. So that's the thing, is like you can group them. So maybe these are things that you want done by month, but then there are also bigger, broader overall year, 1 to 5 year things.
Yeah.
So, but I'm big on vision boards every year. Definitely. I do that. Yeah. Everything I said, I take it back. Vision boards. I do create a vision board for the year ahead of it. And that's like what I stick to. And that's where my goals and my outlook is for what I want the year to look like. That's where it comes from.
And the emotion, like, not like faking it till you make it, kind of, is interesting.
Yeah, showing up as that person. Yeah. Oh, okay. Well, I think that's all for today. We'll see everybody next week, next Sunday. Thanks so much for listening. Thanks so much for watching. Okay, let's cheers. Cheers.